let me answer his question because he had a Reagan question too.
Yeah.
But let me answer Y2K because I want to be honest about this.
Okay.
This is one of the few things that I have really gotten wrong, and I didn't go with my gut, and so I was proven wrong, and I did it for the wrong reason. So now I'm going to actually confess here on air. I was on one radio station. I've been on Access TV for a few years. I was on one radio station. I already started a show out of my house that was on like 15 radio stations, so I had that at least. But I was on one big radio station, had the top show at night on a station with Howard Stern. Was killer. It was all over the newspaper, had huge ratings. And I was bringing in like, 20, 30 grand a month, which was just a huge amount for me, building a whole operation out of that at home. And they come to the sales guys and they go, look, for a year, you've not been behind Y2K. And you're not letting us have all these big sponsors, and you're going to basically be fired if you don't let us endorse these sponsors and have them on air and say you believe in Y2K.
Hold on a second. So these sponsors were like Doomsday stuff, like canned food and shit, and
bunkers and everything else. So I already believe in food
So they
stuff
got
in
to
case
push
there's a problem.
Y2K.
But
You
let
got
me
to
tell
push
you what
that
happened. Let me tell you what
Y2K.
happened.
Y2K means
But the station wants to make all this money.
500K.
Okay?
so the station made you push Y2K. Wow.
Well, but let me go further. This is one of the few times in my life that I don't want to say I didn't have integrity. I kind of let them convince me. But I think back to the point in the conference room, I just kind of went, okay, sure, I get it. And then I went, and then once I decided it was true, I really pushed it. So it's almost like I'd lied to myself because I'm being honest about this process.
Right.
So this is what happened. For like a year and a half, I'm saying it's BS, it's a government hoax, because they're like, the Navy says the chips are all bad and 54 cities will completely fall and it's all the death. And I said, they just want to upgrade with all this new spy hubs. They want a new global standardization for the U.S. It's the Telecommunications Act of 96. They want to force all the new chips, because I had NSA sources then that I was having on, okay? And I didn't realize how special it was that I had these sources. They're telling me it's all BS. And people are like, don't argue with the Navy. And Fox News had ads to get your food. And it was just everywhere. So I went, okay, okay, stuff's going to be real.
So it was like a Black Friday for Doomsday
It was like a Black
people.
Friday deal. So the last few months, and the moral was they ended up firing me anyways.
They did?
But the moral was I kind of convinced myself it was real. So by the end of it, and of course they edit like 12 hours of me on that day into like 5 minutes. It sounds totally insane.
Right.
But it's like nuclear reactor having a problem here, and it really was happening. And like, and there was a missile fired from Russia, which like was an ICBM and then got like shot down. That was ABC News. So I'm like, all right, this isn't really happening. Okay, we got prepared. It's always going to be prepared, but hopefully, a reactor's having a problem. Okay, some stuff. So there was some outages and some problems. But government and MSM had hyped it. Then they used it to demonize alternative media even then when it wasn't catastrophic. So my gut told me it was BS. It was BS. And so thank God I missed the whole 2012 thing. But still they said, Alex Jones says the world's ending, Nibiru 2012, where if you really search what I say, it's all a load of crap. But I didn't criticize you when I saw you doing it. I said,
I was balls deep in Nibiru.
I said, I hope he's wrong.
yeah.
But here's the thing.
Well, I've always
it wasn't
loved
just
that
the radio
Nibiru.
station. It wasn't the radio station. It was the listeners. They were pissed at me that I wouldn't go into this thing.
Well, it's fun for them. See, when you start talking about the end of the world or doomsday coming, people like that shit because it gives them something to think about.
But
because
here's
there's
the
a
thing.
lot of people,
I'm talking
Alex
about a real
Jones,
future. I believe in humanity.
I know.
I'm not doomsday.
Listen, it was a long time ago. It was 17 years ago, right?
wrong.
Y2K?
Yeah.
17 fucking years ago.
But at least
And-
2012 didn't get you, so
Right.
you redeemed yourself.
Yeah, you came
'Cause it
back
got
strong.
me. I
It's
wrote
okay, I
songs
get it.
about
Look,
2012.
17. Think about 17 years ago. That's a long time ago. I mean, and you getting fired from that job. Every great radio guy's gotten fired.
Yeah.
Howard Stern got fired. You got fired. Like Bubba the Love Sponge.
And it was
been
just
fired.
like Howard
Everybody's
Stern.
been fired.
I had top ratings, and they were all pissed and weird about it. The weird thing is they didn't mess with the losers. They were all flipping out because I was getting the big paychecks.
Well, it makes sense. It
Just
all
like
makes
Howard.
sense.
It was the same
yeah.
thing.
And the Y2K thing totally makes sense. That they would want you to really push that and sell it hard because who the fuck knows? We don't know. You get scared. You're like, what if they're
exactly,
hiding this from
Alex,
us?
the Navy says it's going to happen. Washington Post. Now, your listeners are real, and it was the one time I went, oh, okay, maybe I'll go do it.
I had people on that were